Okay, so in this week's video, we're going to be taking a little look at the paintwork on this Jaguar F-Pace, which is Jaguar Friends Red, or Land Rover Friends Red. It's the same colour, Jaguar Land Rover, it's all the same thing these days. Now we're going to be using the LS400, the new Series 2 for base coat on this. I've used this quite a bit now, and I have to say, like, I liked the original LS400, but the Series 2, again, like the WS Series 2, is a step up. So prep wise, I'll just run through what we do at the moment. So we're using the blue 3M softback sanding sponges that go on the DA. We're using the P800, really fast, really efficient, and they last for ages as well. So any clear prep's been done with a P800 as far as like the blend panels, etc., and any blend areas, and including the top of this bonnet, because this only came in to have this front end done just because it had like literally 10 chips in the bonnet. But he's a regular of ours, he does like to keep his motors nice. He's got this, before this he had a Friends Red Range Rover, which again, very nice, always kept it really nice. And he's just picked this up recently, so decided to have it in to get the front end done to tidy up the chips. So for the chips, we've just used some UV putty to fill in the chips, and then we're going to get straight onto the base coat stage. Now I am blending the wings and the top of the front bumper on this just to make sure it looks spot on, but at the moment I've got this masked off on the wings and the top of the bumper. The reason for that is just so that I can get a really nice clean paint on the bonnet, and then I can just pull this little paper skirt off and then just drop a very light drop coat around the edges of the wings and just up the pillar, because there was one little stone chip on the pillar. So I thought, as he's a regular and he does spend quite a bit of money with us, I'll just blow in that pillar for him as well. Now we're using the Kapci Basecoat, using the LS400. I'm using it full fan, I'm using it full fluid, and I'm running this at 1.8 bar. Now you can see there the size of the fan, and you'll probably see as we go along, this thing has got a really nice laydown. Now the original LS was extremely nice. For me though, this just feels a lot better. I've done a few silvers with it, I've done a few sort of silvery greys, you know, like the dark gunmetal greys with it, and then we came around to this Pearl Red, and it was absolutely phenomenal. It's not skipped a beat so far. I even had a beginner using this last weekend, and he absolutely smashed it with this gun. So far so good. I'm not going to go into the technical differences or anything like that in this video. We're going to leave that until we get around to the review. We'll just get on to the actual painting of this. So I've gone around first and just put a little bit of a spot in each of the areas that I've put the UV putty, and then I'm just going to go for sort of, I'd say about an 80% medium wet coat over this because it doesn't need colouring up for prep marks or anything like that. I just want to make sure that once obviously we've spotted in these areas, this bonnet's nice, it's got a nice laydown, and that everything's nice and even. So you can see with this LS, the fan is really nice, it's nice and even on a full fan and full fluid, and it's not, to me, pumping out too much fluid. Now Liam, our new lad, he went round to the back bumper and did a bit on the back bumper with it, and he said that it felt like it was very wet. Like as soon as he pulled the trigger, he was like, wow, that puts out a lot of paint. Which in a way I suppose it does, but if you've got a reasonable speed, I've got to be honest with you, it's not too bad. When we did the clear work on this, I did say to him, because I was running the clear gun full fluid, just to knock it back a little bit if he didn't feel confident, and I think he just turned it back like half a turn, 3/4 of a turn. So it just felt a bit more comfortable for him, which is absolutely fine. There's no issue with that. Obviously some painters paint a little bit quicker than others, some painters are a little bit more comfortable going wetter, and it's just, you know, again, it comes down to your feel for it. Now I've had no problem whatsoever with running this full fan. As I said, I find it absolutely chucks the paint on, but it puts it on in a very nice way, so I'm not worrying about putting it on at too high pressure. I did one in the week, well, right at the start of the week, which is a bit of a catch up from last week, which is kind of like a bluey silvery grey. Bit of an awkward colour. Laid that down lovely. I had no problem. It was a nice even lay down on the metallic. Even this bonnet, to be honest with you, once I'd done this bonnet in its couple of full coats, I didn't really feel like it looked at all like I needed to drop coat it, because everything was laid down really nice and very smooth. Once this has dried out, it felt perfectly smooth. There was no roughness to it. You could tell that everything had laid down nice, and you see there, it's not a slow gun either. So even, it probably doesn't show too much on camera, but the bonnets on these are huge. When I unmasked the wings to clear it, I did struggle a little bit to be able to reach over the wings and the bonnet all at once. I could just about get to the middle of it without having to get a little step stool or something, because they are quite tall at the front, but also quite wide as well. Now, I just gave this bonnet, once it had had its 2 full coats, I gave the bonnet a drop coat with the wings still masked up. So all I've done for a drop coat is to knock this back a tiny little bit. I've gone back to, I think, about 1.5 bar. So I've just knocked it back by like 0.3 bar, not a lot at all. It gave me a really nice even drop coat, so that basically the bonnet was fully coloured, or fully recoloured and fully drop coated before I unmasked the wings for the blend, so that I could be a lot more accurate when it came to doing the blends on the wings, because I don't want to take it too far either way, which you'll see in a second, because I don't obviously want to hit the wing, I don't want to hit the door or the wing edge or the door edge or anything like that. So I'm trying to keep everything nice and neat. So with it unmasked, I'm just going to go around, give everything a quick tack off. So there's been one little chip at the, or 2 little chips at the bottom of that I just want to blow in. I just noticed it, and for the sake of a tiny little blowing on a pillar, it's going to take me like 2 minutes to do that. We're just going to feather the colour into the top edge of the bumper there, just to make sure that everything looks nice and nothing stands out. So what I'm doing here, on this very edge, I'm just feathering the trigger, and then I'm just pulling it full trigger along the edge of the wing there, which will give me a nice little tiny fade out, and I'm literally painting along almost like that shut gap, just to give it a little fade out again across the top edge of that bumper. And again, when I get up to this left hand side here, I'm just feathering the trigger, so I'm only putting it where I want to put it, because obviously I don't want it to be fully coloured on that wing edge where it meets the door, but I want to blow this pillar in, and I'm just trying to blow the, just feathering the bonnet and the wing together at the top there, which will give me a very nice light blend all around this colour. Anyone who's done this colour, will know it can be a bit of a finicky colour. Our match on our system was really good, so I was quite happy that I could keep my blends nice and small and nice and tight on them top edges, and it's just got that little fade out across the wing and across that bumper edge there, and I'm keeping the colour, as you can see there, off that wing edge. So everything, oh, off the door edge, sorry. So once done, everything should be nice. Now for clear, I'm using the Kapci 6030 HS clear. It's 2:1. No thinners in this. Oh no, I did. I think I put just a splash of thinner, just a tiny little bit of thinners in this. So you can see there from the fan, at about 6 inches out, we've got a really nice full even fan. No more issues, you know, with this Series 2 as far as, you know, having a top and bottom heavy fan or anything like that, like the Series 1 did. Again, I have said this before, I am a big fan of the Iwata guns. I've always been a big fan of the WS, so I was excited to get a Series 2. I've had a million messages and a million questions, and I've said the same to everybody. I'm not going to give you my final thoughts. You know, my first thought on both of these guns are these feel to me like they are a big step up and another level up from the original Series 1. They are nice, as you can see here. From this, where I thought and mentioned in the last video that I felt it was slow, as you can see here, this is a big bonnet, and it's not a slow gun. It's not a slow gun at all. I'm getting full coverage on this, 100% wet coat. With this Kapci, I'm going for 2 full wet coats on this front end. I'm giving it, I think I gave it a 15-minute flash off, and then came in, hit the second coat. I'll give that about a 10-15 minute flash off before a bake. But you can see there's no issues whatsoever as far as speed or lay down. It's going on nice. That fan is really nice to have a larger fan. The one thing that I have noticed is that because it's got such a big fan, you want to make sure that you keep your overlaps quite tight, because obviously, although it looks a huge fan, you know, you're only getting a wet area and so much obviously on the panel. If you hold it back and you think, wow, that fan looks like it's 12 inches across, well, when you actually get it on the car, it's obviously not a 12-inch wet strip that it's putting on the car. So I would say we're probably going around about 70% overlap with this gun. Full fluid, full fan, 1.8 to 2 bar I have found so far has been absolutely sweet with this clear that I'm using. Now, the annoying part is I did forget to press record on the second coat for this, but I've got the walk around at the end so you guys can see that. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this little video and a look at the new LS400, as well as the WS and also the paintwork on this Jaguar. As you can see, after its second coat, it's really nice, it's really wet, it's nice and flat. I cannot as yet give you any bad points about these guns. I am really enjoying them. As I said, I am a huge IWATA fan, so if that makes me biased, then fair enough, but compared to the originals, these are exceptional. Liam's done all the back bumper on this. This came out absolutely spot on as well, so hands down to him for that. So that's it for me for today, guys, and I'll see you again soon for the next one. Bye for now.